Hey VC, we're back in the pub. I'm John 6 Penis 319. Once again, I'm here with my mate Headley, another fat bearded man talking about records.
Yeah, thank you, John. It's good to be back in the pub. And we are joined, aren't we, by the latest double act from the VC.
Two elder statesmen of the VC, yeah, Vinyl
Dick
Richie
and
and
Norm.
Mazzy. Welcome to the
Hello,
pub.
everybody. It's Vinyl Rich.
Hello.
Aye, look at this, right? Yeah, so we're in the pub. What's everybody drinking? That's the best place to start. What are you drinking there, Mazzy? What was that?
Well, it's 11 a.m., so I'm not hitting the beer because I take one Guinness around all day with me in the UK, in London. This is a San Pellegrino Italian sparkling drink. This is a blood orange, so no alcohol, but it's got a nice effervescent. It's good. It cleanses the palate
Yeah,
before lunch.
you want to stick a vodka in that. Richie, what have you got there? You got a drink to hand? Aye, look at this, look.
Ooh.
What is that?
Guinness.
What kind
It's
of
actually
goblet?
Oh, Dr. Pepper. There you go. And what about yourself, Headley? What you got there, mate?
Oh, I've got a half pint of Guinness, but it's not really going down very well.
No. Is it, so what you've actually got there is a Mazzy.
I have, yeah. I asked for a Mazzy and they only fill it up halfway.
I know, yeah. Same thing happened to me as well, mate. Yeah, so
Did you plan this that you
No.
each get a half? Did you split
No.
one?
No.
I got so just ridiculed for that day in London, in Soho.
right. So we're in the pub. You know the rules. You get 2 plays on the jukebox for your dollar or for your pound, whatever you want to go. So yeah, so we'll pick a tune each to start off with. So Richie, do you want to kick things off? What have you got to hand there, mate?
Might as well. I'm in this dive bar pub and let me go look at the jukebox. And boy, was I surprised to find this gem by the Soul Chants. Give Love a Try on Coal Mine Records.
Right. Okay.
This is their album.
Right.
It's a band from Bakersfield. They play early Jamaican, early 60s Jamaican style music. Kind of when it was not bebop, but kind of like that. It was before the ska. They play a little bit of ska, but it's more soulful.
Would it
Yeah.
be Mento? Is it? I don't know. I know that predated Scar.
It's a bit of an R&B feel to it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's more of an
Yeah.
R&B, that early 60s.
Yeah.
Those vocal groups, I don't know if they're doo-wop or not, but anyways.
Yeah, it'll have that
This
sort of
is not-
influence, yeah.
This isn't not necessarily the best song on the album, but it is the single, so this is the one
Yeah.
I played.
Right, okay.
Give Love a Try.
So Coal Mine Records, they put out a lot of that type of that's classic soul sound done by modern
Yes.
bands, don't they? Yeah.
Yeah. It's a good label.
Yeah. Do you pick up much on that label, Richie, or is that just like a one-off?
I have maybe 3 or 4, but they're all Soul Chants.
So is Bakersfield a sort of a real hive of music still?
No.
Oh dear.
The Gavin Newsom with his stupid lockdowns killed a lot of small businesses in Bakersfield.
Like
And to be
everybody
honest,
else
they
in the
really
world.
haven't recovered.
Like every leader in the world that shut down every friggin' city. in
Well,
the world.
actually, no, not every leader in the world. But I don't want to get into that discussion because
Yeah,
Yeah, I see a look on John's face of terror.
I'm just thinking, oh fuck's sake, how do we get there already? You know?
Excuse me.
Keep it light, Richie, keep it light.
yeah, Give Love a Try, is it?
Yeah.
Give Love a Try.
I would give that a go, yeah. I like the
Cool.
sound of that. Yeah, I mean, that sort of soul music, you can't go wrong with it. And that sort of pre-ska Jamaican sound, it's a little bit R&B, bit blue beat. It's people like Laurel Aitken and stuff like that. It's just the great 45s and great tunes. So anything that's influenced by that has got to be a good thing.
Yeah, it's good.
Cool. Right then, Mazzy.
Okay, I decided to pick one. If I'm in the UK, I'm at a pub. I'm not at a dive bar in Bakersfield. I'm in a pub in the UK like I was with you two guys. Literally a pub every 45 minutes. And I decided to pick one that was inspired by Hedley, at least what I know of Hedley's music. And these are not obscure records, at least one. None of these are obscure. And then one later for John. The Hedley one is an obvious one. To me, it's the most unlikely Summer of Love 1967 hit major singles that was number one in America. And it has nothing to do with psychedelia, but it was all over the charts. I actually bought the single that summer. And then someone gave me 3 albums for my bar mitzvah at the end, like in September. And I got the album of this. And this is Ode to Billy Joe by Bobby Gentry. I mean, it's an obvious hit. Everyone knows it. This Memphis kind of soulful country sound. I love her voice.
Yeah.
It has just that great acoustic guitar thing with the simmering strings, produced by Kelly Gordon and Bobby Paris. A major hit. In the 70s, it was turned into a motion picture, but I just love it. The B-side's great too, Mississippi Delta.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, yeah.
You know-
That taught me how to spell Mississippi.
See, in school in America, it's like Mississippi.
Oh.
They teach us that. I don't know why. I live in California. Why do people have to spell Mississippi? But seriously, what a great record, and
It is.
probably one of my first purchases of what would be considered a country record, really.
Yeah.
When I think about it, because I bought this with my own money, this song. It was like great.
Yeah.
It crossed genres. It was in the pop, it was in the country charts. I think it would hit like mild in the soulful thing too, not high up, but on Capitol Records, obviously. And just a great, great record. This is my original copy.
And of course, it's got that great sort of mystery, isn't it, of what was they throwing off the bridge and the Tallahassee.
Apparently in the movie, it's a doll, but there was this hidden homosexuality overtones with, of the guy.
Dolly, after that was a hit, Dolly Parton actually wrote a song. I can't remember what it's called. And it's very similar kind of theme, but it is a lot darker. It really is.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a huge hit. Here it's probably big as well, wasn't it?
A few years ago, during the pandemic or right before, there was that great CD box set of the complete Bobby Gentry, which is friggin' amazing.
Yeah.
And I had that, and I had the Glenn Campbell combo album, but I didn't have any of the other albums of hers. And in fact, that one, what's it called? That one that's a soulful record that became a cult.
Fancy?
The Delta Suite.
Delta Suite.
Yeah.
Yeah, what a great record.
That's a brilliant record. But her career was fascinating because she only recorded for a handful of years, didn't she? Like 3 or 4 years, and then just
quit. She married some guy, moved to Vegas, and a guy out of the music business, rich guy, but she had money too. So, and just retired at it. And she was 30 in her 30, like barely.
She had a massive hit. Was number one single over here, the Bacharach and David tune. I'll Never Fall in Love Again. That was her big hit over here in the UK.
Wow. Was this very big in the UK?
I think it's a big tune, yeah.
Yeah.
It was a big number one here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
No, great choice, Mazzy. Very good.
It was the 3rd of June, another sleepy, dusty Delta day. I was out chopping cotton and my brother was baling hay. And at dinner time we stopped and walked back to the house to eat. And Mama hollered at the back door, y'all remember to wipe your feet. And then she said, I got some news this morning from Choctaw Ridge. Today, Billy Joe McAllister jumped off the Tallahatchie Bridge. Papa said to Mama as he passed around the black-eyed peas.
Okay. So we're talking big number ones. I like to deliver on the big hits. You know.
You do.
So I'm going to go with from 1975 or 74, depends on who you ask. Before
Dark
the
Side of the Moon?
Before the next teardrop falls by Freddy Fender.
Yeah.
I love this record. I absolutely adore it. This was number one. 75, it got to number one, Billboard top one. I don't really understand the Billboard charts and all the different.
Nobody does.
There seems to be loads of different charts. What's
I know.
Now especially, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
But there was always a soul and the country were separate then.
Yeah, and then you get the ones that cross over and they make it in the pop chart.
Hot 100 it was called.
And this one did. It was a good year actually, 75 for country, because you also got I say country. You get Rhinestone Cowboy number one. You get I'm Glad I'm a Country Boy by John Denver, and you get C.W. McCall, Convoy.
Yes. Convoy.
So good, big year for country. Anyway, so yeah, this is I love it. So it's it was a hit it was written in '67, and this is a later recording. He was originally called Boldemar Herter. I don't know if you knew that. Boldemar Herter.
Why did he change his name, Headley?
Well, he changed his name, and to quote Freddy Fender, he said, "I wanted to appeal to the gringos." So yeah, so he'd had a hit with a minor hit with Wasted Days and Wasted Nights. It's '59, and then he was busted, and he was sent to prison for marijuana possession. And luckily, he was let out by Jimmy Davis, who was the governor of Louisiana. Do you know Jimmy Davis?
Yeah.
Sausages. No.
Jimmy Dean?
No, am I getting mixed up? No, Jimmy Davis.
Jimmy Dean wasn't the governor. He wasn't.
No,
that was
yeah, I know, but Jimmy Dean was the sausage.
Oh,
Dean.
maybe I'm getting that's the sausage. No, he was the guy that wrote that did You Are My Sunshine.
Oh, so, about the sausages. What's going on with the sausages?
Well, everyone endorses something. It's like
Jimmy Dean per pork sausages, and he had the big hit of Big Bad John. Remember Big Bad?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Anyway.
Great record.
Yeah, this had been recorded a couple of times. Jerry Lee Lewis had recorded it, but he was pulled into the Crazy Cajun by Huey P. Moe, the guy that ran Crazy Cajun label, and said, basically, I've got some instrumental tracks. Can you come and lay some vocals on them? And so Freddie Fender went, all right then. And 5 minutes he did this. And he just sang one verse in English, one verse in Spanish, and then took his money and went out, probably down the pub. So it's like 5 minutes work. He didn't think about it. And then it was it was his biggest hit. But I love the way it's got the kind of Tex-Mex feel. You've got the accordion comes in. You know, it's a soppy song, but it's that sort of that idea about, you know, no matter I'm still waiting for you. It's one of those sort of love songs of unrequited love.
So I don't think I know that.
You don't know it?
Well, I know if I hear it.
Nah, I don't know. Maybe.
Well,
you're not that cultured.
And he had a great ongoing career because, first of all, on the soundtrack to The Border with Jack Nicholson film that Ry Cooder and worked in Jim Dickinson.
Oh, Ry Cooder.
Take a drink.
Drinking game, Ry Cooder. No, but he sings the best version of The Border. Willie Nelson covered it later, and a lot of people, but he sings that. But also, he was part of the Texas Tornadoes with Doug Sahm.
That's right, and Lost Super 7 as well, yeah.
Yeah, and that Doug Sahm and Augie Myers from the Sir Douglas Quintet and all. I mean, the British band that was not a British band, a British Invasion, Sir Douglas Quintet. They kind of wanted to pretend they were from the UK, call them Sir Douglas Quintet.
Oh, is that right? I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
That was kind of
the
hidden thing, you know. She's about a mover.
It was great that he had that towards the end of his career, where it was sort of, you know, because I think after the success in the early 70s, through the 80s, it really, he found it hard, and he released a lot of rubbish, I have to say. Yeah. There used to be a market stall here where I live, and on a Saturday there used to be a stall that sold CDs, And the guy was a big country fan. And I remember he was always playing Freddy Fender CDs that just sounded dreadful. Didn't sound like they had any instruments on them. They were all done on synthesizers. Oh. They were awful. So it's great that he was able to get the sort of bit more recognition towards the end of his life.
But in the 70s, that came out when I worked in a record store. So I remember that was a big single. And we sold a few of his albums. And there was Freddie Fender's Greatest Hits that came out that did the Wasted Days and Wasted Nights and all that stuff too.
Yeah, well, he re-recorded that. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it was originally released on the Crazy Cajun label, but then ABC Doc picked it up and went, well, we can make money out of that. I mean, this is a UK pressing, this one.
But you know how I know that?
It didn't chart.
It's the little hole. The little hole.
The little hole. There you go.
I don't know why I'm saying that. Yeah, everyone knows this.
Can we say that on this channel?
Oh yeah, John had a great conversation about big holes and little holes.
You like that, didn't you? I tell you what, you picked me up on my speech on the last video, my pronunciation of
how do you Fleetwood Mac? How do you say Fleetwood Mac?
Fleetwood Mac.
One syllable.
Yeah, Fleetwood Mac.
Fleetwood Mac.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Si te quiere de verdad y te da felicidad, te deseo lo más bueno para los dos. Pero si te hace llorar, a mí me puedes hablar. Y estaré contigo cuando triste estás. I'll be there anytime you need me by your side to drive away every teardrop that you cry.
Right, okay, it's my turn.
Right.
So I picked a 45, albeit this one may well knacker up the jukebox because it's a shaped picture of Sexy MF by Prince and the MPG. So, are you a fan of said song, Sexy MF?
I do like that song, but that's the most ridiculous
it is, isn't it?
Thing.
It is. There you go. Right. I don't think I've ever played it. Anyway, right. So Sexy MF is. I remember being so excited about this song coming out. So I bought Prince records in the 80s, but I really got into him around Diamonds and Pearls, the record that came out before that album. So, singles like Get Off and Cream and Money Don't Matter Tonight, especially, that's a great song. So then a new Prince album coming out, the first single off the album, Sexy MF. So this got to number 4 in the UK charts. He says the phrase motherfucker 29 times on this record. I mean, he got to number 4. And what I like most about it, and particularly proud about this for being a Brit, was that it released as a double A side with the song Strolling, because the record company thought nobody's going to play this song on the radio. However, UK radio stations said, oh no, we'll play that. And as you know, Headley, they just took out the phrase motherfucker and replaced it with a little guitar part.
I love that version, I have to say. Yeah. It's almost like he's self-censoring himself.
Yeah.
He kind of goes, you sexy mother.
That's right, yeah. And it was played everywhere.
Mix himself? He did that mix himself?
I assume so.
I can't imagine he let anyone else do it. What he was
Well, that's when he was the artist formerly known, right?
No, he was still Prince.
Oh, was he still Prince then?
Still credited to Prince from the MPG, yes. So,
right.
But I think because of the profanity on the record, it's got a bit of a novelty thing going on. Whereas we sort of underappreciate it because it's got everything. It's funk, it's hip hop. There's a great rap in the middle by Tony M. Not the best rapper in the world, but he delivers a great rap in the middle of this. It's jazzy. There's a killer guitar solo by Levi Caesar Jr. at the end. It's a brilliant jazz guitar solo. And some of the backing vocals, it's just pure doo-wop at the end of the song. He chucks everything at it, and it's fantastic, but all we remember is the fact that he swears all the way through it. It's a brilliant track. Now, it's quite famously in the mid-'80s, after Purple Rain came out, Warner Brothers, they just wanted another Purple Rain. They wanted Purple Rain Part 2. And he recorded the follow-up album, Around the World in a Day. And he went to the studio, sat down with all the execs, and sat down cross-legged in the middle of the room and played them his new album. And all of the execs, they were like, what the fuck is this? Because it's a little bit trippy, it's a little bit psychedelic, Around the World in a Day. It's a great album.
Berets. It's a great record.
It's a great record. But I would have loved to have been in the room when he said, okay, Warner Brothers, following up the massive success of Diamonds and Pearls, this is going to be the first single off my new album. And he plays it and he says, motherfucker, 29 times during the course of 4 minutes. So there you go.
Motherfucker.
Sexy MF. Yeah, it's a classic.
Wow.
Well, I'm not going to argue. Yeah.
There you go. That'll go down well in the pub, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it's going to go down well.
Yeah.
Hope the landlord's all right with the language.
I'll have to remember to mark this video as being not for kids.
Kids, come here, baby. You sexy motherfucker. Come here, baby. Yeah. You sexy motherfucker. We need to talk about things. Tell me what you do. Tell me what you eat. I might cook for you. See, it really don't matter, 'cause it's all about me and you. Ain't no one else around. I'm even with the blindfold, gagged and bound. I don't mind. See, this ain't about sex. It's all about love. In the chart, there's a life in the next. While all the cosmic talk, I just want you smarter than I will be when we take that walk. Come here, baby. Yeah. You sexy motherfucker.
Yeah. Go on, Richie. What have you got next, mate?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, Prince can prance right the fuck out of here. After all those motherfuckers, we're gonna brighten up the joint. I don't have the single, but it was the B-side of "Do You Want to Spend the Night," and it's off this Village People album.
Whoa.
And the single, the B-side was Food Fight, and it was their attempt at a punk rock new wave type song. But yeah, after that 29 motherfuckers, a food fight is what the pub needs.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
John, are you the one that pulls
It's a pretty fun song.
John, are you the one that pulls these clips together? Good luck finding that one.
No, food fight is definitely on YouTube.
Is it?
Oh yeah.
It's
a great song. It's a great song.
I've never seen that album.
Yeah, this is the album when they thought it was a good idea to ditch the cop uniform and the Indian outfit, and these guys back here are still the original guys, but these youngsters kind of.
Oh right, I see.
And here's a back picture of them.
That's amazing.
That's brilliant.
That's the mustache. Yeah, we remember those mustaches.
Yeah.
I've got to find that album. What year was that? I think it's like 82, something like that. 82, 83?
81.
Oh, right.
82, okay. Maybe. 81. Yeah.
Right.
So it's post-Village. We call that the post-Village period.
Yeah, this kind of killed their career.
Wow.
I don't know. They're still going, aren't they?
I bet they are.
Yeah, I think they are, yeah.
Didn't they play at the Trump rally? I thought I saw.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, surely the diversity on that team, on that band is that they're all DEI, aren't they?
That's the genius though of a band like that. Is that it's all about the costumes, isn't it? It doesn't matter whether they're the original members or not, as long as
of course,
as long as you've got a motorcycle cop and all that sort of stuff, you're laughing.
Do you think they do? Do they do that? I think it should be, right, you've done your construction worker. If he leaves the band, you've got to have another profession.
Another doctor.
Gynecologist.
I heard from a good source that the recreation of that are going to replace the ABBA show off the Thames there in that thing. It's going to be the Village People the next when they update it.
I'll go and see that, Mazzy. I'll be there in a shot, I tell you. That'd be brilliant.
I do want to see that ABBA show. It probably won't be there next time I come, but I don't know.
Goodbye! People at my back, lunches of morning, there's something that lasts. The grab yourself a weapon, get ready to attack.
sort of influenced by John, or it's in the John somewhat genre.
Is it the Village People?
No, it's
Oh,
not.
okay, right.
And it's a cover of a a hit, or I guess it's a hit. You would tell me better because you'll know this better. Of a song the Temptations did in 1965.
Right.
Okay? So see if you can think about it. And what's great, and I saw this tour of this artist, okay, this record is from 1978. I like this. I'm not going to stump you, but it is basically Don't Look Back by Peter Tosh with Mick Jagger.
Yeah.
And I like this version, and I don't think I knew the original version or paid attention to it until I heard this. And of course, it's Peter Tosh, reggae.
Yeah.
Great cover of it from this record.
Yeah.
And this is when they went on Rolling Stones Records.
Yeah.
And in fact, there was a club called the Old Waldorf, and I saw him on this. And this is a time when all us record people were invited to this. We get free tickets, and we go and they liquor us up. And everyone thought that Mick Jagger was going to show up. And that was like the buzz in the audience, or Keith Richard. And of course, neither of them showed up. It was still a great show. But this is a a white label promo with a mono and a stereo. So double A side, doesn't have the B side. My original copy. Obviously, the mono is the white and the stereo is the blue. Yeah. And it's just I like a version. Mick comes in and sings a thing. Now, obviously, if you're in love with the Temptations one, some people maybe don't like it, but we know the Stones covered at least, 2 Temptation songs over the years.
Yeah, well, I love that version. And the best thing about that song is the video, right? Because Peter Tosh just looks incredibly cool. And he's a giant of a man as well. And then you've got Mick Jagger coming in and prancing around. Do you know what I mean? Oh, it's
not one of his good prancing around either.
No, it's not, no.
No, I watched it again last night just to tell myself, do I really want to pick this one? Maybe, on the rollout, I'll show the other 2 that I didn't choose. But from the album Bush Doctor. Anyway, I love this record. I like this. Song. And it went one of those examples that it got me to go back and check out the original Temptations.
It's interesting he was signed to Rolling Stones Records because it wasn't a particularly successful label. I don't know how much promotion or whatever that the label actually did for him, or whether he felt like he benefited from it. But he was clearly really tight with the Stones. Keith Richards loved Peter Tosh, absolutely adored him. So it's interesting. I suppose that's how he got signed to.
Well, that's a good theme for a video or a story. Is these big act vanity labels? Yeah. Apple's a good example, except for Badfinger and James Taylor. But James Taylor wasn't even a hit. Mary Hopkins, but a lot of the stuff on Apple bombed or virtually. Look at
almost
George
all
Harrison's
of it.
label, Dark Horse. It bombed. Led Zeppelin had Dave Edmunds on Swan Song and a few other, and I forgot who else, but
Bad Company.
Bad Company was an exception, but a lot of these vanity things, the artists get to choose. It's not thinking about sales really.
Well, it's like Prince and Paisley Park, so that was the same deal, so
right.
Was that single 78? You said
78.
Yeah, that's the year I saw Bob Marley and the Wailers.
Oh wow!
And Peter Tosh came out, and it was the first time that Peter Tosh and Bob Marley had played together since he had split from the band. And I guess after that, they kind of he would show up at their gigs after that. But also Keith Richards and I believe Mick Jagger were there, but he didn't bring them out. But yeah, it was a great show.
And where was that, Richie?
It was at the Starlight Amphitheater in Burbank, California. Right. It's not there anymore. They built houses there, but it was up against the mountains. And while we were there, a couple of deer came down, and they were at the side of the show, like just grazing around. And it was a beautiful place. Yeah,
and so what do you remember about the gig? What do you remember?
Well, I remember everything about it. It was one of the best shows I've ever been to. It was really good. I don't remember who opened up though. And I do remember I was wearing a hat, and the guy behind me asked if I could take my hat off. I go, what the hell, man?
Was it a Rasta hat with dreadlocks?
No, it was kind of like Mazzy's hat.
I saw him at a club called the Boarding House in '74, Whalers, Bob Marley, and then I think it's either '77 or '78 at the Paramount Theater, the gigantic one in Oakland, and a total different vibe. The club was maybe 200 people, 250 people tops, not even that. But the Paramount's probably like 4,000 or 3,000 or something, that type of gig. But it was just a great time,
Wow.
You didn't think of
that
it
was
how special it is now in those days, right?
Yeah.
That was the Babylon by Bus tour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good live record. That's a really good record by Blood.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting actually with Bob Marley because it's interesting how little new material he wrote throughout the 1970s. So a lot of the stuff that we recorded on all those 70s albums are songs that he'd originally recorded in the 60s or written in the 60s and came back to and revisited and updated for a sort of more of a rock sound. But yeah, it's surprisingly how few new songs he wrote during that period, that 10-year period. But just incredible music. I'd love to. I think that if I could see any gig, it would be '75 at the London Lyceum.
Oh yeah,
That live album that came out. I mean, that's one of my favourite records. I'd love to have seen that gig. Just him in his prime and with the i3s, just a brilliant band with him. Just incredible, yeah.
Chris Blackwell did a great. I mean, he knew how to get these artists, how to turn them into kind of hit records, and gave those records on Island a great sound. Yeah.
Well, there were two versions, weren't there? Is that right, John? That there were two mixes of those albums.
Yeah, well, certainly of the first album, Catch a Fire, it was recorded, and then Chris Blackwell brought in some rock musicians to, the first 30 seconds of that album, you'd never know you listen to a reggae album. It's just straight rock music, and then it falls into that reggae rhythm so far in, and he just tried to make it appeal to more of a rock audience, which it did, So it's embraced by the rock crowd as well as the reggae crowd, and obviously became an absolutely massive international star. I mean, is there anywhere in the world that doesn't know who Bob Marley was? Just recognise it's incredible, really.
If it's love that you're running from, there is no hiding place. Just your problems, no one else's problems. You just have to face. Oh, if you just put your hand in mine, we're gonna leave all our troubles behind. We're gonna walk and don't look back. Gonna walk and don't look back. Now if your first lover let you down, there's something that can't be done. Tell her what to do, Rob. Don't hear your faith in love. Remembering what because.
Right in Headley.
Right, okay. I thought I'd go for something a bit lighter.
Let's see you top that one, Headley.
So this is
No pressure.
right outside the car park, Richie. Now, okay. So this kind of ties in actually with Mazzy's choice for the
Bobby Gentry.
Ode to Billy Joe. This is John Hartford, and it's actually a B-side. I'm going to cheat a little bit and put a B-side. This is called the category Stomp.
But you can pick a B-side on a jukebox.
That's the great thing about playing the jukebox is playing
Exactly, yeah. And much like Billy, I'm having one of those.
Bobby Gentry.
Bobby Gentry. When I say Billy, it's Billy Joe McAllister was dropping something.
You're thinking about Michael Jackson. Billie Jean.
That's right. Yeah. So Bobby Gentry and John Hartford were doing country in a very different way. It was sort of subversive, but also quite popular with the kind of middle of the road crowd. It had the strings and things like that. But I mean, everyone goes wild for John Hartford's Warner Brothers stuff, Aeroplane. A bit later, it's all very kind of hippie. bluegrass. But I really, really like his early RCA records because they are very odd. Because he had the massive hit with "Gentle on Your Mind," and
Glenn Campbell.
And basically he was able to do anything good. RCA went, yeah, do whatever you want. So he kind of pushed the boundaries. And so this is an interesting, funny little throwaway tune. It's a kind of like a hoedown, but it's poking fun at all the fads that were going on in the 60s. And it's trying to categorize what type of music he plays. And it's, fun. But there's some trippy stuff on it. You got some backward guitar and kind of thing. So he's trying to be a bit psychedelic with this. And so, yeah.
What's the A side? What was the A side of that? What was
the A side is I didn't know the world would last this long.
I don't know that one either.
Yeah,
is that John Hartman, you said?
Hartford.
Hartford. Well, I couldn't read it, man. He kept moving the damn record room.
My accent.
Does he have any albums?
Yes.
Yeah, loads.
On RCA?
Yeah, loads on RCA.
I'll check out the albums,
Warner Brothers.
Maybe. Yeah, and then moved to Warner Brothers, and he ended up doing a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I don't want the commercial Warner Brothers stuff.
Well, but it's not that.
I want to hear the oddball stuff.
The RCA commercial stuff. That's what you want. Yeah. But he did sort of bluegrass stuff on Flying Fish and things like that. He's even, I think one of the last things he played on was the "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou" soundtrack. I think he was involved. You've
seen that, haven't you?
No.
This is the one with "Hey Babe, you want a boogie?" And
that's right. Yeah.
It's kind of a hippie album. This is what 72 or so.
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So anyway, I thought that'd be a bit of a laugh.
In a lovely company sleeve as well, there, Headley.
Yeah,
we appreciate
tatty.
Yeah, we appreciate a company sleeve around these parts, don't we? So.
Now you put your right foot on the left and you bring your left foot down. With your hand in your pocket and your chin up high, you turn about halfway around. Don't do the double shuffle or the Jackson drag, cause you might be a dancing in an unhip bag. It's a folk, country, discotheque, soft rock, contemporary, abstract expressionism, word, movie, flower, power, hard rag, and Neil Stone, Billy, dirty boogie, freaked out and coming on a jelly bean, psychedelic stomp. It's a folk, country, discotheque, soft rock, contemporary, abstract expressionism, word, movie, flower, power, hard rag, and Neil bluegrass, stone, Billy, dirty boogie, freaked out and coming on jelly bean, psychedelic stomp.
Yeah, very cool, very cool. Right, Mike. Right. So a few weeks ago, I went to see a gig, Manic Street Preachers, and I don't know whether Mazzy and Richie know them, but I went to the gig and I realised that, don't worry, I'm not the show with no records, but I realised that they've almost sort of soundtracked my adult life, so their first album came out when I was about 15, 16, and they've been forever present right up to now, they've never gone away. And most bands from that sort of period, they at some point have split up and they've disappeared for so many years, and they may well have reformed and come back for a bit. But the Manics have always been releasing music. They've made 15 or 16 albums in that time. They're always on tour somewhere, I haven't bought all their records by any means, but at some point over the last 30 years, every now and again I'll go and see them or buy one of their records or whatever. And there's something quite comforting about the fact that, you've got a band like that, that's, I say, soundtracks your life almost. It's brilliant. Anyway, the reason why I mentioned them was that their last single, which they played at the gig, was called Dear Stephen. Dear Stephen, please come back to us. And of course they're talking about, this is where I lose Headley now.
I know where this is going.
They're talking about Morrissey, aren't they? Please come back to us, Stephen. All is forgiven, for your crazy ramblings. But I picked this tune out. This is Interesting Drug. I think it was like his third or fourth single as a solo artist after leaving the Smiths. I think most of the Smiths actually play on this as well. Everybody apart from Johnny Marr. And this is just a song. It's just what he did so well for so long. It's just a brilliant, brilliantly quirky pop song. It's a pro drug song. I think this came out in '89, so it's like a comment on the old acid house scene at that sort of point. But yeah, it's a fantastic record, and I say it's just what he did so well for so long. And we want him back, don't we? We want him back, Headley. We want him doing more songs like this, and we're welcoming him back with open arms, aren't we, Headley?
We want him to show up.
Yeah, we do. That would be a good place to start, wouldn't it?
No, that's one of the bonuses of going to a Morrissey concert. You're not sure if he's going to turn up.
Yeah.
Yes, he's not turned up.
Yeah. Well, I know your views on the subject, Headley, but what a great tune that is. Do you know that one?
No.
Ah, well, you never know. You might like this when I play it.
I have it on the album. Which album is it on? Is it on Bonadret or?
Yeah, it's on on Bonadrag, which is
Yeah.
a comp. Yeah, so.
Yeah, right. That's what
So that's from, you say that's from his first album, was it?
No, so it
No.
was the lone single, and then it was.
Oh, I saw right before
yeah,
then.
so
Ah.
it wasn't on Viva Hate. But there you go. But I don't know what it is. I totally get it, Headley. I do. I agree with you 100%. But I just love some of these songs so much, and I think you get to a stage where you just can't shake them off,
Is Headley? Are you not do you like the Smiths or Morrissey? You don't like either. Okay. I know a lot of people that don't like his voice and don't like him. How about you?
No,
Rich?
I don't. Yeah, I never really warmed to him. I think there are some great. I mean, obviously the band sound great. I have no issue with that. And was it How Soon Is Now? Was it? Yeah, I love that track. I've got a nice remix version which is just looping the guitars and there's no Morrissey on it. It's ace. But no, I've liked some of his solo stuff. I've got a couple of singles of his that I quite like.
I've seen Johnny Marr 3 times, and it took the third time that for me at least, that all of a sudden he added about 6 or 7 Smith songs. Yeah. He had done it before, but a couple. Yeah. But he seems more secure with his voice singing those songs, and they actually sound a lot. They sound good. Yeah. I mean, he doesn't sound like Morrissey, but he's more in that direction. Yeah. But at first he was just, you never really heard him sing. At least I didn't in the Smiths. I mean, I don't know anything. But he has found his voice as a solo artist.
Definitely. Yeah, but he's still no Morrissey.
Yeah.
Are you a Morrissey fan?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have the first 15 Morrissey singles on 12-inch. Right. I have and they're all great, but I go, man, I kind of just stopped dead, But I love the Smiths, and I had a friend. He was actually my neighbor, best friend Tom. He was more of like a heavy metal guy, and whenever I wanted him to go home, I put the Smiths on, and I never told him a thing about it, but it never failed, man. Maybe I don't think he ever got through the second song. He goes, "Well, I'm gonna take off, Pat,"
That's what I do with Headley. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm out the door. Yeah.
Well, there you go. Yeah. Well, anyway, give it a listen. I think that's a cracking tune.
Cool.
It's a bit quirky.
Half the bar is gonna leave, but the other half's gonna sit.
We used to. I can't remember.
Join hands and sing it all together.
I can't remember off the top of my head, but the record store I worked at, the main one, Fridays and Saturdays we were open till midnight. Because of the area, there are bars and places. It's like Tower Records in the States. Every day of the year to midnight, which is great. You go in those bright lights if you're stoned, and it was overwhelming. But you had to buy a record. But ours was a neighborhood store, and there was bars and restaurants there. And so it used to be in an old bank, so it had a big high ceilings like those banks. And literally, people would come at like 5 minutes to 12. I know exactly what I want. We'd start locking the door, but about a quarter to, we'd put on like the worst I can't remember what now. And not the cliche Yoko Ono, no, it's not that. But we put on shit that we know that would get him out of the fucking store. So
Yoko would get him out pretty quickly.
well,
No, I like those Yoko albums from the 70s. I think they're
Oh
great.
yeah,
Nice.
they're wonderful. Yeah. Keep talking yourself into that one.
I think they're great.
yeah. I still have like a
It's
third of
time
my
to
drink
go.
left.
Yeah, right. Have you?
Are we all going for Chinese food now?
Yeah, we're all going for really bad Chinese food. Then we're going back to the pub for another Mazzy.
Headley left before that. Did you hear the story?
I
about
know. Yeah, I didn't get that.
We walked through the Chinatown there with all those Chinese restaurants to some place. I don't even know what neighborhood that was, but it was the worst.
It was, yeah, it was pretty bad. But we're on out. The idea was we were going to Brick Lane for a curry,
Oh yeah.
and I think people just got pissed off with walking. So I just go in this Chinese restaurant, and it was pretty bad. Yeah, but there you go.
And then Rob Walker got screwed with the price. So there we go.
Yeah, Rob Walker Rob Walker got a bit fighty in the Chinese.
He was right. He was
right. He was right. Yeah,
but okay.
Yeah.
It was a long day.
You can take the man out of Oldham, but you can't take.
Yeah, I don't
we
like to
ended
admit
the
it.
night. We ended the night in that pub where Jack the Ripper found two of his victims. Apparently,
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, a proper London night out, Headley. There you go.
Yeah. My old
for the tourists.
That's from my. I was born near there, so that's my my neck of the woods, really.
Really. What neighborhood is that?
That's what's it called? I was over the river in Lambeth, but still in the sounds of Bow Bells and all that. But Whitechapel. That's Whitechapel, though. That isn't it?
Oh, I know it from DM Headley. I was going to say you hunt.
Well,
you're allowed to say that on his channel. Madam C's been on here and said it plenty of times.
I didn't say it. Yeah. That's like the Monty Python. I can't say the letter C. What a silly bunt.
All right then, chaps. That was it. Another good night in a pub. We're going to finish off with Morrissey, and everybody's half of us are happy and half of us aren't. So there you go. Right.
Thank you.
Cheers, guys. See you next time.
Cheers, guys.